Alright. So this is going to be a more advanced tutorial than my other one. Will still be using MS Paint. That's both a self-portrait and a warning in case you're like, oh, this person's an artist because they're going to use MS Paint, which is debatable reasoning to begin with, but this took me 10 minutes. Don't exactly have an ailment such as Parkinson's to create those wavy lines, but I do have a box, which is my desk that I'm using as both a mic stand and my computer desk, because I don't actually have a desk. Actually, my like mouse is going crazy and I'm not even holding it on anything, so maybe that's broken. Who knows? Actually, it's only when I punch it up. Okay, never mind. Let's not get sidetracked. So this is gonna go through and be a more, I guess I was gonna say in-depth, but it's probably not gonna be a literally super in-depth. But just to preface everything, if I mention any videos or channels, I will link them in the description. Also put a timestamp for each Colossus, so hopefully if you need a certain thing, pay attention to this part, and then just look in the description, everything will be there. So I guess we will begin. Also, I've upped my setup. Now I can draw on the screen, which is, you still see that because the it's gamma or whatever it is where the white's turned off, and that's terrifying. But yeah, so hopefully this will appeal to the kids with my storybook. Is it like a picture book? There we go. Picture book style demonstration on how to play Shadow of the Colossus normal time attack mode. So if I can actually click this button. So this is the video I'm using for reference for all of this is my PB, which is 4018. Not bragging, it's a pretty good video. You should check it out. Also link that down in the description. It's pretty good, no bias or anything though. So let's move on to what you're here for. Let me just delete this horrid picture. So that's some swag camera movement. You don't need to do that. You can be like, it was in the tutorial. So actually, first off, I'm just gonna explain this. In NTA, there's no real rules for the order in which they do. We're thinking that if there's anything that has to be done, because if you go on to normal time attack, go to the rules, it'll say you have to start on Velus, end on Malus. We're not going to do that. We're just going to say end on Malus for the most part, because then everyone just skips the same cutscene essentially, which is the end cutscene. You all end at the same spot. So if you want the quickest route, you're going to go Argus to Velus, just down that whole side. Then you're going to go over to Quad and go all the way to Malus. Azama did that. He's a French runner. I'll link his run, his PB, because that's where he starts on Argus, goes to Velus, Quad to Malus. So it's essentially even or odds in reverse than evens. So now onto Velus. Velus is pretty easy in the sense of like explanations. So I'm gonna roll once and whistle. This is just because you can do a roll and then whistle, and he'll take the minimum amount of steps as if you just whistled at the beginning. You can actually do a short hop, roll, whistle for the farthest distance prior to whistling if you want to do it. A lot of Japanese runners do that. I used to do that, but then I'd get a bunch of retries because I'd mess up on it. So you're going to come towards the foot. I have the mouse here. So you're just going to jump and slash is what I do. You can also just jump on and stab it. You can just mash stab to get that stab. Don't worry about like charging it. None of that matters on the foot to make him stagger and go into the next position. So if you have a habit of like jumping and then you got stuck on his hoof. Like you land on his hoof and then that stops your swing, and then you just stand there and you fall off and you look kind of funny. Don't worry, that just means you're jumping too soon. If you jump a bit closer, you'll be too high to land on the hoof because you won't be going down yet, and you'll be able to slash. I had that issue a lot. So when you come around his foot and jump up, not much to it. You're just going to want to try and jump at like a diagonal against his leg, and that'll push you up onto him, and you'll immediately grab in or around this position. Then just mash stab. If you miss the stab on the first part and you jiggle out, you can still get a stab after that most of the time, and that'll still make him go into it. So the moment this, like the cutscene starts, let go. If you let go too soon, the cutscene won't start, and he'll just get back up. So once this cutscene starts, if you watch my mouse, we're gonna try and like run this way, and then we'll be like, okay, time to bring out the paint. I'm on my OBS looking at my mouse there, and then I'm like, I can't get to the window. Oh, I have to go over here. There we go. So if we'll do a top-down view. So his body, oh, Jesus Christ. So I swear I don't. What the fuck is with this mouse? Anyway, I'm also using my knee right now. Let's switch over to cardboard. This might work better. Let's just redo this completely. This is his body. This is his back leg. Oh Jesus. So you're gonna drop right here. Now, as soon as it drops, on the that's not a circle. Let's get fancy. On your, I've done this in the normal one. If you've watched my first tutorial, you really can skip this guy. There's not much new. I guess unless you don't know about the jump stab thing, because I don't know if I explained that. Anyway, on this is your controller. This is your left analog stick. Just gonna hold that. Let me get my controller and use my muscle memory. Yeah. So just to try and, it's about right here is the angle. Oh God. So that's the angle you're gonna go for. And if you hold that, if you find yourself when you jump, you're either getting under his chin or missing him completely, hold that angle down a bit more. Like, so there's like the 45 degrees is basically where you're holding. So yeah, hold it 45 degrees down left, and you should hold this. Just keep holding this, and then in this cutscene I'll tell you when you should stop, essentially. So he's gonna drop. You're still holding it. So I'm still holding it right here, but after you see my guy run off screen, and here, right when that like shakes a little bit, we're going to use our thumbstick. And essentially at this point we have run like this. So we're right around here, and this is his head. My cursor's kind of small, but his head is like this bottom left quadrant of this blob. And we're essentially going to want to go at that angle. So yeah, that's actually about the right angle, if this is it. And then you're going to hold that way for maybe like one step, or you don't even need a step. You just need to start holding that, and then you're going to hit jump, for me it's triangle, and hold R1. And you want to do a long jump, not a short hop. Short hop is if you tap jump, and then a long jump is if you hold jump. So you're going to hold jump and hold R1, and you should go, yeah, that's what's gonna happen. Now, what I usually go for is one climb. So I'm just holding up on the D-pad, not the D-pad. Don't hold up on the D-pad. That'll switch your weapon, I'm pretty sure. Hold up on the analog stick. Why is this controller so greasy? Palms are sweaty, guys. It was greasy before I touched it, though. That's the weird part. But so you're gonna hold up, and you're gonna basically do one or two until you think you're in a position where your jump should get you on top of him. So there's a good chance. Okay, so on using my mouse, if you're here, you're definitely gonna want to climb up once. So you're around here, and then you can hold jump. And also, the closer you are to here, the more likely you're not gonna get shaken. You also might grab his the brim of his head. If that happens, you just have to mash jump and you'll grab here, then climb. And you should be able to get in plant easily, and it'll still be sub 35 second Valus, which is fine. So if you do get shaken, you're just going to wait and then jump. So my jump landed me way back here. If you're in this portion of his head, you'll land here. Also, if you're too low on him, you'll just dangle, and there's nothing you can really do about that. I also feel like I'm yelling. So if I'm loud, just turn me down. Don't go into the comments and berate me with your insults of me being loud. I don't know why I'm adding emotion to my voice. Anyway, so up here, I just run. I hop because I'm really impatient, and I'm already like, wow, this is a bad Valus. That's what's going through my head, but that's fine. Really, a bad Valus is going to lose you 5 seconds. That's not bad. In this game, 5 seconds is not a bad thing. So then you're going to run, and time to redraw this masterpiece. We'll just let this play through. So I'm going to do just a stab. You can see I'm on the back half of his sigil, pointing towards his nose. That's essentially anywhere behind that will plant. Because I didn't get on his head quickly and I had to jump, I landed on his shoulder first. He's not doing his usual animation, which is where he'll dip his head down during your second stab. It's fine, you can still get your stabs in. Also, I'm going to throw this out right away because Durham's, he's another French runner. He was doing it, and just today I was watching, and he said he was like, why are my stabs so fast? My being me. When he had watched my video, and it was because you just have to hold stab while you're charging and it'll stab faster. It's an oddly little known fact, and not a lot of people know it from casual play or even from watching. It just seems like, you just press the button and it starts holding stab, you hit the button and it'll stab. So you essentially just hold and then just mash stab again, and it charges like 25% faster or something like that. But yeah, that's something to take note. It took me like 4 months of running, and then like Nero came into my stream and was like, your stabs are really slow. And then he was like, oh, did you know you could hold your stab and it just charges faster? I'm like, ha ha ha. No, I did not. But anyway, that is a good thing to know. So stab. Now, because if he's moving up, like pulling himself back up, if you go too quick and his head is still kind of dipped, what I'm about to do won't work, and you'll likely just like stumble instead of doing a jump stab. So right here, you'll see. And to do this jump stab, because it's a bit, I'm not letting go of R1 at all. That's what you have to know. If you're on a level surface, you can just keep holding R1, tap jump, and then while holding R1 this whole time, never let go of R1 in this whole sequence, tap jump and then hit square. And that will jump stab without having to like let go of R1, jump, and then R1 square to jump stab, which is jump stab in case you did not know. Oh god, I'm in a very not nice position. But yeah, so that's how you will do that jump stab. Never letting go of R1, just hit triangle, hit square, hold square. I don't know if you have to hold it, but just hold it. Because, I mean, this is the last hit. It's not going to do anything bad. But yeah, if you're coming out of that dip and you like do it a couple times and you're like, man, I'm always stumbling instead of getting this jump stab, just wait half a second and then do it and it'll be fine. And you won't have to worry. So this is the only Colossus that this is really used on, because most Colossus you don't jump stab finish. but there are a few that is good to know. But just remember that if you were to be facing like up, so your feet are his nose and your head's toward his back, and you try to do that while his head was still lying, like leaned forward, you'll notice that even while holding R1 and hitting triangle, you're just going to jump like a regular jump if you were trying to climb something. Unlike where you saw my guy, he just jumped in the air. And that's where the level surface comes into play. So since he's a level surface, it'll let you do that jump stab. If you are on a Colossus and you're trying to do that jump stab and it's not working, that's because it's too tilted and you can't do it. You have to revert to letting go of R1, jump R1, stab for jump stab. So now just a quick thing for those who don't know it. I guess I can just... Let's just do... Oh, jeez. Oh, Jesus. Let's see, we need that sweep brush. Oh, jeez. Here's his head. Back of his body's that way, right? We're gonna go like all out. And this is his sigil as I right click. Let me do that's not a design, it's just that I realized that it was kind of small. So you're probably gonna have jumped, let's use red, up this way, come around, and the best thing to do is come around, and don't, oh jeez, what is that? I'm drawing like a fracture line or something. Anyway, you're gonna come down at him that way, facing towards his like his nose. You're gonna grab, essentially, while facing towards his nose, anywhere here is fine for a plant. If you're too far back, like right here, this will cause it. You'll just stab and you're not gonna actually hit his sigil because his sigil is pretty. What's the word? Legit isn't the right word. Pretty honest for where the hitbox is. Unlike when we come to like Avion's tail sigil, which is a complete lie. But yeah, and that's basically all of Velis. All you need to know at the very least. Oh, and then I just redid everything after undoing everything. So that is Velis. This has been 17 minutes so far. I hope you're enjoying. Also, just some you and me talk during this death sequence. Gonna get a wireless extender, meaning I'll be able to stream more, because I'll be able to hardwire to a wireless extender, and it'll be really nice. Just for reference, going towards where the tentacles come out does make things quicker. I like to throw in a jump stab because I saw a Shuripan do it a long time ago, and I was like, that guy is cool. Pretty top stuff. So yeah, in the case of like Avion, it actually matters to start swimming towards and stuff. So now we're on to quad. So this is one of the new strats. You will not have learned this strat in my other one. So this is actually important. Gotta get your head in the game, Theron. That's my name, by the way, Theron. Though this is on YouTube, so you'll be like, why is this on Theron's channel and not Plush's channel? This guy's stealing his style? I don't know. Some form of that. No, that's me. That's me, baby girl. So yeah, so this is gonna be 2 rolls towards that foot. Important. I also swapped weapons at the beginning. So let's just go back and watch that again. Let's not be able to actually okay, there we go. Swap, roll, stop. Stop rolling. Walk while you're weapon swapping, so just start moving forward towards that leg. Roll twice, and now it's arrow time. So this is actually really nice. I found this within 3 tries of starting when I was like, I need to find a way to hit the foot every time. and it just worked. So the moment I stand up, I start charging a bow shot. I hold directly left on that analog stick. So we're only moving on, I guess that would be, shit, what axis is that? It's on like the XY plane. Anyway, on the XY plane. So how does that work? It's the XY plane. So it'd be x-axis if, yeah, we'll look at your analog stick, the x-axis, so left and right. So we're going to move west as I throw in some more direction terms. West, due west on that analog stick. And we're just going to move it there. That's how far you want to be apart. And now we're just going to hold it. Because his other foot is going to come across. We're just going to shoot it. So that's really easy in my opinion. Like, it just works. Also, it's my turn. Give me 1 second, my boys. Give me 1 second. And girls. And anyone who wants to run this game, please run it. I will literally just love you. There we go. Look at that. It's like the whole video wasn't on the screen this whole time and I didn't even notice. Look at that, 149. That could be you. In fact, you could be better than that. You could beat my time terribly. For anyone with a misconception that this is world record, which I have seen a few times, Shurapon has the world record at a 37-something run. So check that out. It's on his Twitch channel. I will link him just because I like him. So yeah, that's how far you want to be. And now, as I click on my goddamn OBS, I was wondering why my mouse was so big. It was because it was on my... Ah, jeez. This is going to be awkward. I've been using my mouse this whole time, and it wasn't even there. Okay, so this foot's going to come across. The moment this part of his foot hits your... Can I frame by frame this? I can 5 seconds back it. So roll. Directly left, get in that spot. This foot's coming across. The moment the front of his hoof crosses that that pointer, let go. You can even let go sooner, and shoots him in the foot. Easy. That's what you need for this strat. So that's all you gotta do. Man, now this fucking YouTube bar is in there, and it's cramping my style. But anyway, we're gonna shoot that. So I just jump because I'm cool. I also switch to my hand. I don't know which way on the D-pad that is to switch, but if you just hit down, it'll automatically switch to your hand. Pro tip. In case you've like watched a bunch of like Japanese runners, it's like, man, they always know where their hand's at. They're probably just hitting down. Or maybe they actually pay attention and know, but I don't, so I just hit down. So I just walk that way a bit. This cloud of dust that's going to emerge can hit you. It doesn't do too much damage. In any percent, it can kill you. Just a word of warning in case you want to run that, which can still use this. There's just an easier arrow shot to get that front leg. So sometimes this bump will be there, sometimes it won't. So this is where it's important. This is something I had written down. Actually, I have notes on what I want to teach you guys. Arrow, setup. Alright, so this is the setup to side jump. So we're going to run, and we're going to jump on like this part of his leg. Now, I'm just going to let this play a little bit. We're going to do a half jump. You'll notice my stamina, or I guess that's half, like 75% jump. It'll work. And I'm gonna draw a dot here just so I know where my my cursor is. Oh, good. It was actually in the right spot, but that's a bit too much. So there's like a line, essentially. It's like where a muscle would be, and you can walk on that. So you'll notice that that line. I'm gonna delete that line. But yeah, so I'm gonna hold left basically and start walking. You're gonna want to hold left a bit. If you run up, you just won't be able to move. But if you run left this way, you'll notice that then I can start kind of running up without just running against him. Because if you're here and you start running against him, you just run against him. Here, you actually run up him, and then I'm gonna jump. So you're gonna land around here. Your camera angle should actually be the exact same as mine. Not much difference there. So you're going to be a bit like that far from this ridge. If in this next jump you find that you're hitting this ridge, it means you are not jumping with enough charge. So it's another half charge jump. I guess let's call that 75% charge jump. Yeah, so a 75% charge jump, and you're going to get to right where his stone meets his fur. Now, this is a really weird strat in the sense, well, it's not actually weird, it just uses the side jump. The side jump has an odd amount of power behind it. It doesn't take charge like your up jump does. This one, in fact, it seems gives you a faster fling if you just charge very little. So you're going to be holding R1. You're going to go to do a side jump, so you're going to hit triangle and left on the analog stick. And you're going to hold that for just a little bit. You'll watch my stamina. That's like 25% charge. And you're going to let go of jump. If you find yourself falling and not actually jumping, like what you're about to see, it means that you let go of R1 prior to jumping, which is common. You're going to want to let go of R1 too, but it's going to be like keep holding left the whole time on the analog stick. And my thing is I like flick my like jump, the finger on triangle, into my R1 finger, and then I like as my I slide it up essentially off that jump button into my index finger, which is on R1, and then as my my thumb hits my index finger, I let go of R1. So it's like kind of if that's the speed I basically do, which is you hearing me letting go of triangle and then R1. So, and then you're going to hold left still this whole time, and you'll get this really weird jump. And you're going to land on his horn. If you find you jump and his head is in the right place, and you're like, okay, his horn's not there, it means you were too slow getting to that spot. Or you jumped too slow, because it'll turn his head to his right, and then you'll miss it. This is just some troubleshooting. I believe in you. If you're gonna do this run, it is gonna come with a lot of practice, even with this guide. So I believe in you. Keep it up. You got this, champ. I'll definitely come see your ball game. Work won't get in the way. Hopefully that doesn't hit anyone like too close to home. But you know, then we're here. We're on the head. So I immediately jump. If you're new and you're like, I mean, if you're starting and you're watching this, then just like walk slowly, get a couple stabs. You're only going to be able to get one stab though, actually, so don't get a couple stabs unless you're a god. So I'm going to jump and I'm going to grab, and if you jump off of him, I've done it. Don't feel ashamed or feel ashamed. I did. But I also, if you hadn't noticed, way back then I had switched to my hand. This is just a timing thing for me. This is my timing, and sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. This plant that I'm going to go for is really tricky, and I don't actually think I get it in this run, so that's nice. Oh god, I'm on my OBS again, trying to hit play. Okay, so as I get on, also, just so you know, it charges 25% faster, essentially, because you skip the whole start of your, like 25% of your stab by starting your stab from hand. Just FYI. Now I'm going to hold this. I can't remember if I should have held that a little longer, but you just hold it for like probably half a second to like 3/4 of a second, and then you stab, and this will put you in a plant on his head where you can get all your next 1.5 stabs. For reference, Malus is 3 full stabs to kill. Actually, it's 3 and like, or 2 and like, it'd probably be like over 9/10 of a stab to kill. But anyway, this is 2.5 and 2.5 on the front and back sigils. So I get that in, and this can happen, and this actually ruins my plant, I'm pretty sure. But sometimes you'll like pop up like that, and sometimes you'll land and it'll be fine, you'll be in plant. Other times you won't be, which is I think what happens to me unless I let go, and that was on me. But yeah, other times you'll just be able to grab again really quick and you'll be in plant. Don't worry about this unless you're going for world record, and by which point I don't think you're going to be using this tutorial and you'll have built all your own little muscle memories for the game and everything. So yeah, I actually hopped off, which might have been me letting go of R1, but anyway, otherwise you just do your next 1.5 stabs and it should be the same. So I'm going to run up into the basically casual, or not casual, but the plant that everyone knows, or is usually used. It's the only other plant. So let's get that MS Paint out. Also, it can be kind of tricky, but you have lots of time. If it doesn't work, you'll notice that if he grabs too quick like that, that's not a plant. But if you see his body like go down, I wish I could have a video camera on me and just being like, huh, looks like I'm praying. In the sense of like worship, I guess. I'm worshiping, not praying. I need a drink. I talk too much. Shoutouts to Arizona if they want to sponsor me. Like, by which I mean like $5 a month. I can get like 5 cans minus taxes and everything. But yeah. Shoutouts. Call me. It's been a while. So I'll draw it like this. Oh my god, once again, not on OBS this time. So, brushes. Here is his, oh, that's not what I want to be on, by which I mean color-wise. Didn't even hit click the color. This is his, is that what it looks like? Yeah, that's his middle thing, and then this is his head. So you're going to want to, like, essentially before the end of his spine, well, actually, it'll be like that. So I should have done that in red, since we're using that for my sigil colors. So it's like in here. And this is, once again, you're facing down. Sigils, basically his whole forehead. That's not rock. Also, there'll be like... This is a lie. I'm a terrible drawer. This is the rock on each side. So it's in here, more so. And you're going to grab like anywhere in here. As I said, he'll have a, like, not a quick grab, but like a... It feels like he's actually bending down to grab the ground. And that'll be a plant. And if you're doing this strat, this is where you'll get your next 1.5 stabs. If you were to get like 2 stabs on the plant and then like roll out or something, just do a half stab. Don't even try and get in plant. You can get a half stab in. You can get a full stab in. So don't worry about that. But yeah, so it's right in here while facing down. Excuse me. I don't talk much. So this is killing me. So yeah, you're gonna just put your little handsies gripped here and here or something with your body this way, and yeah, it'll essentially, as long as he isn't like, if he's already swaying his head, then yeah, you're not gonna get the plant. That's kind of obvious. You might actually get the plant. Sometimes it just works, but for the most part, you're not gonna get the plant. And yeah, I'll just let this play out. So, right here, I just let go because I know his like sigil is destroyed. So, as he's lifting his head here is when you want to jump. If you start moving up there too soon, he'll give you like this back wobble, and that means you were on his back prior to him, prior to Quadratus, that's its name. That's its fan-given name. Deciding what animation it's going to do. It's either going to walk or it's going to shake. So if you get on his back too soon, he's going to shake his back. If you get off his back or off his head way too late, he's going to shake his head. But if you get off like that, see that sweet jump you get because he's lifting his head, and that's actually adding to the momentum of your jump. And you're just going to basically jump down his back. So I believe the only thing left is, yes, the back run and cycle stabbing. So cycle stabbing, there's some places you use it. I only use it once in this run. So you're just gonna like run down, grab his booty. Now, sometimes you'll get like, usually you can get one stab in before like being shaken out because he doesn't really have a plant. Sometimes you will accidentally plant, which is fine. You just won't get the quick booty kill. Ugh, disgusting. Well, I mean, that burp wasn't very noticeable, but me calling myself out on it is admirable, I hope. So I did actually a 7/5 stab. I know my fractions. No, like 7/8 stab, or I guess a 3/4 stab. So the moment I finish that stab, I'm going to let go of R1, hold up on the stick, re-hit R1. This is after flicking the stick up, essentially, to hold up, and then start charging another stab. And that's why I'm in another stab immediately. Like, damn, I'm smooth. No. So, stab, let go, flick up, start stabbing again. Actually, that was... Alright, so yeah. That's awkward. So stab, let go, hold up, stab, let go, hold up, and then start stabbing again each time, of course. 2.5 stabs. I essentially did 275% stabs. And that's quad. With any of these, feel free to just message me on Twitch, leave a comment on here. I will do my best to help you. That's what I'm here for. I just really like this game, and I really enjoy watching people run it, so that's all the thanks you need to give me for this awesome tutorial. Also, to get a jump stab on that, just hold R1 so you don't fall off of him as he dies, and then you get that sweet jump stab. So yeah, roll to each of them. Feel free to roll. Add your personality in right there. Add the personality of your roll. My personality, my roll is a short hop, a bunch of rolls, and then a short hop onto the next Colossi statue, which is pretty cool in my opinion. So, Gaius. This is Colossus number 3. Swordman himself, which I'm going to do this pet peeve toward artists right now, so get ready. Yo, artists, if you're going to draw Gaius, don't have aggro in the frame. I don't know, I'm trying to be all like, I'm literally throwing peace signs because I'm really white. Peace signs and being like, yo, don't draw aggro because aggro can't get up there. Actually, I just noticed that when I was like, looking at art at a convention recently because I'm a fucking nerd. And it's like all the art pieces have like him on aggro. I mean, some are pretty legit. They use the platform. I mean, that's what the platform's there for. It's really cool. Staging. But yeah, you can't have aggro up there. Aggro's just chilling on the bank, doing nothing. Because aggro is useless. No, aggro's #1 in my heart. Don't worry about it. Don't come at me, PETA. I believe in you guys. Not PETA, but you guys listening, that you'll protect me from PETA. Save me. So we're going to start this off with switching to my bow, 2 rolls, and then a little bit of a walk. I hold R1? No, R1's fucking... I'd be grabbing the ground. L1. Anyway, let me get my... L1 will... essentially lock onto the Colossus's like face for the most part, and that's what I use to actually move my aimer up. I don't actually hold up. I just hold R1 because I'm really lazy. Or L1. Don't hold R1. You'll just crouch and look like a nerd. But then you can blame me because I did mess that up. And then if you lose a run to that because you're just crouching on the ground, just be like, Theron! And then just send me angry mail or comments. Come into my stream and just be like, hey, you ruined my world record run. I was on the 3rd Colossus. It was going great. I don't know why my jokes are funny to me. That's not even a joke. Anyway. So you're gonna want... Let's see if I get enough. So yeah, you just... It's not that hard to get this arrows in. And that's more than, like... This is actually a little bit more than enough damage on his stomach sigil to destroy it. You're gonna jump, otherwise you will get some knockdown from this. So this is new compared to my old tutorial in the sense that I have a better visual cue. So right here you can see this X. I'm not gonna draw it, or maybe I will, just for the shits and giggles of drawing it. So I'm actually in front of the X. I prefer to be on the X. That's where I do my best. And I'm gonna position myself diagonally towards the left. Now, crouch, if you don't crouch or you let go of crouch at any time while he's lifting it, you will just stumble out. Besides when you let go to run. That was my mouse, don't worry about it. It's already broken, possibly, kind of. Let me fish that back up. It would have been worse if it like somehow like messed everything up. So around here, essentially. Ooh, do I mess this up? Outplaying everyone in the game. Cold Blood 54321. Shoutouts 118. I don't know who that is. So as essentially it becomes parallel with where the ground would be. So basically flat on the XY plane. So the ground plane. I'm going to let go and I'm going to start running. You can see I do this little dip, a little deke, because you know, there's going to be a... How does football work? I guess you can do it in there's a soccer... What is soccer? I don't know any rules in sports. I was going to be like, is it a defensive lineman you deke? Lineman you deke? Or would it be like... Yeah, I'm going to stop there. Anyway, I like jut out towards the top of his club, and then I jump from there. And I do a bit of a run on his club, and that should send you fine. Sometimes you'll land like up on... I'm pointing. Why am I pointing when I'm using the mouse? Oh, and they can't see me pointing. I want to do the whole Chris Farley stupid thing. So I bang my head against a wall. Am I old now? Have I dated myself? Because that was before me. Copy video, Earl. I'm going to save it. I'm going to upload it on my YouTube. Anyway. So I didn't land on the fur. Landing on the fur is the easiest part. If you do land on his bracer, just jump and land on it. So as he like sways that arm back down, if we just let's just go over this one more time as a play-by-play. You're gonna get on this cross or above it. Don't worry if you're a little bit above it. As it becomes parallel with the ground, we're gonna start running. Do a little jut that way and jump. Jump onto his fur if you didn't land on his fur. Now, as he like sways his arm down, that's actually the start of his animation that you want him to do. So as he drops his arm slightly, we're going to let go, land, and jump to his stomach. You should be able to get that. After a while, it might be a little... You might jump and miss. Or I do a long jump, I think. But anyway, and if you grab later than sooner, you can just immediately get on his sigil, which I didn't do. Also, I switched to hand at some point. Oh my god, I am bad. Who is this person? This runner is terrible. Anyway, so we're gonna do 3 stabs in his tummy. It can get a bit tricky here just with the camera covering everything, but you'll get a feel for it. That's what I do. I'm like, oh, this is charging. This isn't charging. I don't actually know if there's a sound. In fact, this is like one of the first times I'm actually listening to the game, because I don't have game sound most of the time. I record it, but I don't actually hear it. So yeah, 3 stabs here. Now, I'm going to explain something that I don't get to do in this run because I was too slow. If you do all that really quick, and this is going to be something, if you get to this point of optimization, I don't think you'll be watching a tutorial for it, you'll just know how to do it. You're essentially going to jump from the stomach platform to his bracer, and you can either run up the front or you can land on the back of his like elbow essentially and then run up. You're gonna not wait for the correct cycle and you're just gonna immediately run to his head. You're gonna plant on his head and you'll do the stabs and you can get like a 110 Gaius. This is something I have been working on, and I do attempt, if I have it in the right position, like I have everything set up for it. Like this time I was too slow, so I said, okay, I have to go basically the more casual way. Which, as you can see, if you find yourself like jumping and you just get stuck on the bracer, it means you're jumping not too late and not too early, but just like at the time he's lifting his arm. It does mean your stabs took too long. And if that's the case, just wait 2 seconds and he'll like level out and you can jump to it easily. So yeah, you're just gonna position yourself around here. You can work your way all the way onto his shoulder. As long as you are on his shoulder, you can do this next bit. So I just mash jump onto his back. We're gonna run to his head. Grab, so I grab almost off of his sigil, and that's because right here I can like let go and drop onto it. I did pull myself back up because I was like, oh, that's a little too low. Gaius' sigil is incredibly honest and a little bit of a liar sometimes, because if you do stab the top portion, or the very bottom, it just won't count. So, or sometimes it will. Like right now it looks like I'm off at stabbing, it still works. So yeah, we're just, actually, there's a small thing you can do here. So I'm gonna stab, I switch as, let's go back one more just so we can have pull. So, let go, full stab. I mash down on the D-pad to switch to my hand. That makes this stab faster. Third stab. And if you do it this way, then this stab won't get interrupted by a shake. And that'll be the end of Gaius. If you don't get to hand, sometimes you'll still be able to get all the stabs in, it's no worries. There might be a chance that you start getting shaken and you can't get a stab in. Just stand up when his head is kind of level, and then just re-grab, and usually that'll be enough to get the little bit of a stab you need. And that's Gaius. I'm not going to go too in depth. I do have my older video which still works for this one. I will link my other tutorial if you are like a newer runner and you just like, this is a good add-on to that tutorial, but that one goes over a lot of basics, even though I feel like I'm going over a lot of basics this time too. But that's me just finishing in the water because I'm cool. You'll see a lot of runners do it. It works better in any percent because it skips this little dialogue from Dorman. There is no dialogue from Dorman, so I actually lost time. But swag. Ready for this? Small hop. Roll. 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 Small hop. Oh, I'm so fucking cool. That's what does it for me, boys. Girls. Other. I apologize. Maybe other's rude, but I don't know your exact terminology, and that's... Let me know, and I'll call you that. Don't worry about it. I messed this up because directly prior to this, I was like, I haven't messed this up in a long time, and I literally psyched myself out. Look at that. I could have been sub 40 minutes had I not been a dumbass. And I also psyched myself out on Barba in this run. You'll get to a point in this game where you're just like, man, everything's just going so well. I never messed this up. The moment you say that, you're going to mess it up. Or if you're me, you're going to mess it up. Usually when I say, oh, this doesn't look like good positioning, it is good positioning. But now on to Phaedra after I take this sip. Actually, 10 seconds. Let me check my phone because I'm on a health kick. Fuck. I'm going to have to chug this really quick and then revert to water. Don't worry about it. Take it back, Arizona. Don't sponsor me. Water companies, sponsor me. Water cup, come to me. Alright. Anyway, apart from my odd idiosyncrasies. Ha ha ha. Am I weird yet? I hope not. So, the moment the Phaedra's fight starts, I'm just going to run to my horse, jump on her, and just start mashing X. So mash X. So this foot's going to come down, and so basically sometimes the foot won't even be down. If you don't mash X hard enough and you don't get to a full gallop and keep the gallop, you might not. The foot might already be down, but this way is pretty... You're going to get the jump no matter what if you jump where I'm jumping. So it's like right where the foot's about to land, you jump, and you jump towards. If you hold like right too soon as you're about to let go, you might just like do this weird thing where like aggro stops and you barely launch. Just jump. Don't hold anything until you're actually off aggro. How I grab the leg is I start like holding my left analog stick towards the leg. So I'm going to move up. Usually you're going to land down here, so I'm just going to try and shimmy over. Sorry, I'm burping a lot. Just quietly burping, though, because I don't want to be rude. But then I'm bringing it up, so... Why? Now, in this position, there is a position I think you have to be a bit more right to do it. You don't really choose where you are on this. Don't worry about it. You'll essentially, as he goes to lift his leg or he's moving, you're going to like kind of get shaken out of it, and you'll be like, oh no, I'm shaken out. But that's actually the perfect and easiest way to do this leg strat, because as you're shaken out, just start mashing jump, because it actually puts you in the perfect timing to do this launch, which I will explain as this part. So not that shake. So like right there, you'd shake essentially. But as this leg comes down essentially and hits the ground, like within a fraction of a second, I tap jump. This is actually just another really common tip. I do see a lot of people start charging their jumps, even to do like a small get up or something. Like they'll charge right there. Or like if they're on a ledge on Malus, they'll hold triangle to like jump up. But if you're on a ledge that you're just going to pull yourself up on, you can just mash triangle and you'll get up. You don't have to charge that at all. So anyway, as you jump while this foot hits the ground, you're just going to hold basically up and a little right, because you're going to try and run up that angle, up this angle. So yeah, up that angle, and you're just going to jump. This is one you can just watch the video. I'll just replay it like a couple times and just like kind of play along with it. Rewind this a bit, like a couple times, and that's just where you jump. It's like a little timing thing that it'll become muscle memory. So hop, jump, and grab. You also notice that I'm like kind of running more down right there. Anyway, so I'll let this play one last time. And yeah, so just for reference, if you grab too far over here, you won't be able to get up. Like you'll jump and you'll like get into this teetering animation. Just shimmy over. you're not going to lose too much time, about 5 seconds shimmying, unless like you can't get up on the second like leg step, but you're up, don't panic, you've made it through the hard part. When I was starting out, this was actually the hardest part of it for me, was actually jumping to here. It's basically just holding like left on the analog stick and then like aiming yourself towards it and just holding R1. Even sometimes you'll like randomly grab this one if you mess up, or there's even a chance you'll grab the one on the left side, which is pretty funny. So yeah, we're just gonna stand here, jump immediately, or there is a chance that you'll, after getting up here with just mashing triangle, because it's a ledge and you don't have to charge to get up it, and jump. You'll probably land on this one. There's a chance you'll land on this one. This is the one's much more better. It's just better to land on because you can charge a jump on it. This one, you just mash triangle a bunch and you should get up. Sometimes you'll like be shaken out of it. Just keep mashing triangle, you'll get up, no worries, bro. So here we're just gonna do a very tiny jump because you'll get shaken immediately if you get it on that first time, doing the way I do at least. And then we're gonna do another tiny jump because as you can see I was shaken. And it's essentially like 2 full hops from the first area and then you'll be up on his butt. So just shake here. There is a chance that you'll climb his back the right way and he won't even shake, and that'll save you 5 seconds. That's really good. I don't know how to manipulate that animation though, but know that it is possible, and you can find it in like IL times and stuff. IL being individual levels, because I do understand some people are not aware of that terminology. Anyway, so we're just gonna do 1 charge stab. You only have to charge it like that much, and then just 1 mash stab. That small charge stab is to get rid of this like little portion of like sigil that's always left over if you just stab his head 1 and only do mash stabs on his minor sigil. So if you do it, if he doesn't shake, sometimes he'll be like lifting his head in this part and you'll like roll back and you won't actually be able to get on his head. But if you do it after the shakes, you'll just be able to walk down onto his head. So actually maybe I'll take advantage of the draw on screen thing. Okay. This portion of his head is all plantable. No matter where you grab, you will plant. So you can even be facing, in fact, you can even like get plants all over his head. Just usually try and be facing towards his nose with your head. Nose towards nose. Toes towards toes. Call me. But yeah, you can even get ones while you're facing upwards, but usually if you're facing that way, you'll probably have to be more up this way. You can also get plants facing left or right. And as I click on my OBS and not my thing. Anyway, let's get this off. So this one's pretty standard. I actually got some shakes here. That's embarrassing. Half staggers, as we call them. But yeah, so just do all your stabs. If I hadn't gotten half staggered, I could have done a jump stab finish. So this jump stab finish is the hold R1 the whole time because his head is flat enough to the ground plane that you don't have to worry about like jumping up him or something. Essentially, if he is just moving forward as you finish your second last stab, you can go for a jump stab and it'll be fine. If he just finished walking forward, you're going to want to kind of jump stab while holding like this way. The position of my mouse here to my position of my mouse here, because he'll like start swaying his head that way. So if you jump along with him, you'll get the jump stab finish. If you don't, you'll probably land on the side, teeter, fall off, lose upwards of like 20 seconds. It's a mess. You can also just lose like 10 seconds just by getting up really quick and getting a plant. But yeah, that's Phaedra. Once again, I have my old tutorial that kind of goes into that too. But yeah, so I want to, like, I am spending, this has been an hour so far, so I am gonna like go through thoroughly as much as I can on all of them, and hopefully this doesn't become a saga for you to watch, but I think this would be fine to put in the background and just hear me talk to you, tell you have a beautiful smile and stuff like that. But yeah, it's and also learn. Just put this on the background, watch, and be like, okay, I could do that. Let me let me make myself sound really good. But yeah, just learn this game, damn it. And submit runs for me to watch. And stuff like that. Avion, not much to say here apart from what I've said in my other tutorial. In my notes. I want to bring back that I do have notes, and you are welcome. Swim, get on wing, wing, tail, wing, because I'm bad at wing drop. Roll stab. Roll stab's the only thing new. Actually, getting on the wing is new. I do notice that a lot of people use my strat to get on the wing, which I was then taught in about 10 seconds that my strat is terrible. I used to say, oh yeah, just hold up and a little bit left, and you'll just climb up the wing, and it only works sometimes. So also on that swim, just do a long jump is what I'll call it, as you swim towards when you're almost out of stamina, and you'll make it there, no issues. 7/8 charge on your arrow will hit it if you want to save fractions of a second, which I do. So right here, we're going to grab, as his bottom talon appears, we're just going to start walking up him. So, jump on, bottom talon appears out of the water, walk, grab. So, as I am going over that hump, I'm just going to grab and it'll like launch you there. So that's it. Bottom talon appears, walk, grab, and there you go. Easy. Shoutouts to my beloved Nero for teaching me that. So we're going to get on the wing. I'm bad. Don't worry about it though. Just stab as quick as you can. I'm not going to wing drop because I'm a baby. This is also the harder wing drop. I'm not going to go into wing drop. Just watch videos of people actually doing it. I jump stabbed. Oh my god, I'm manly. Manly Stanley, that's what they call me. And then I, like, why'd you always say my name wrong? This is roll stabbing. Also, shoutouts to how quick I'm going to make this Avion tutorial. So, let's see, do I do a half stab here? So, I do a kind of half stab because it's 2.5 stabs on the sigil, 1 stab on each wing. Just for reference. I'm going to position myself. This is for wing, tail, wing. If you do learn wing drop, good for you. You did what I couldn't, or was too lazy to do. So we're going to position ourselves so we're looking up the tail. So it was like if you were about to roll, you'd roll up the tail and not off the tail. The moment this stab finishes, mash roll, and you'll roll out of it. That's how I'll call it roll stabbing works. We'll call it roll canceling. So to roll cancel, just mash R1 triangle. R1 first, of course. And you'll just roll out of a stab. It works on any Colossus. Not many have a use for it. You could do it on like Phalanx and stuff like that. Might work. Dirge will use it on as well. Also, for reference, if you're messing up all your rolls on Avion, try switching your rhythm to hitting R1 a little bit sooner than usual. So we're going to walk here, and we're going to jump stab. I jump stab, and essentially with wing, tail, wing, you'll get anywhere from a 145 time to a 150 time. And I'm not going to go on much else on Avion because Avion is a pretty casual fight, being the fact that I do not know the jump stab from front wing. The shoulder launch to wing jump stab. Which, I don't know if Neuro tried to implement it in his runs, but Shuripon has it in his world record run in this category. So yeah, as I said, swimming towards the tentacles actually saves time here. My technique for swimming is I hold my controller with my thumb. It's essentially upside down, and my thumb holding down on or up on the joystick, and then holding R1 and L1 at the same time. And that's how I just swim towards easy. So Kuro. Not Kuro. Wow. This is embarrassing. So not Kuro, also known as Barba. I mess up here because once again, while I was doing these attempts, I got in my head for some reason that Barba was hard. Or not even that Barba was hard, that I was just going to have issues with Barba. And I had issues with Barba. So I run, I jump, I jump. So just to make it easier on yourself, only try and do this next launch when you're as far over this way, which I was, but I let go at the wrong time. So that's what happens. Once again, if you've watched my first tutorial, which I'll call the base tutorial, that's not doing any of the advanced tricks or newer tricks, which this one's going to go over, I'll watch that for some more specifics, which may be wrong because that's a really old video. So we're just going to run this way immediately, stop, jump. So once you get on his hand, just jump. You're going to get shaken here, do a small jump. If you don't do a small jump, you'll just get shaken immediately as he lifts his hand, and it'll make it a bit more tedious to get up, but don't worry, you have lots of time, by which I mean the whole time your stamina's alive. So I'm actually in a pretty good position right now to do the launch. Let's see if I do it. I did it, and holy shit, that was terrible positioning, in my opinion. Not in positioning of me, but positioning of the camera. So as long as you're like right here, so let's see when I run. So you can see my body moving this way, and that's when I let go. And you're gonna run up his arm. So I think the reason I actually did this was because I was probably like frustrated, being like, damn it, I just said I couldn't do it, and I didn't do it. I really need to like get on this one. So you're gonna run up the arm, so I can't really give you a angle to hold on your analog stick. Just run up his forearm and then jump. And you should land here. You might land on his beard if you're jumping too soon, or like over here if you're jumping too soon. You can also like land all the way on his head. So I'm gonna just play that like this section just a couple times really quick to just give you some visual cues. Run, jump. So let's look. I run all the way up to the top of his bracer, essentially, and then jump. Anyway, so once you're here, mash jump. I jumped. You can just walk for the most part. Alright, I don't get plant. That's frustrating. Anyway, let's talk about plant. Usually what you're going to do is you're going to jump, and you're just going to like grab here, and I'm going to bring up paint, just a really quick one. Head. That's not the color I want. Head. Body. I think my sigil colors have changed. Sigil. So the top of his sigil, you're essentially gonna want to grab, and the thing is, I think I was a little late or something, or maybe I just grabbed wrong, but anywhere in here, even above a little bit. If you go too far, of course, you're gonna miss the sigil because he has an honest sigil. And you'll be in a plant. You're just gonna want to do a full stab, a half stab, a full stab, or any order of those. You'll essentially cancel his rear that I'm about to get hit in. So now let's watch how I save this. Let's watch how I save this. So that's essentially... Oh my god. You guys can't even see anything. Why didn't you tell me? Oh wait. This isn't live, but soon. So yeah, me embarrassingly failing. So this is essentially what you'd want to do the first time. Run up. Grab here. Stab cancel his thing. Wow, did I have bad luck. Anyway, I got another plant really quick though, which would have been nice the first time. So I should have done a half stab there. Anyway, transfer to his back, just walk down it. You can also jump. Just land on his back sigil. So I have a way that kind of works, but it'll only work depending on the positioning you want to be on. Try and get lower than this point where my mouse is going across. And grab, and then usually it'll work. So, oh, I also had this happen, which doesn't help. If this happens, remember that you're in control of yourself, so right here you can start stabbing. So you want to do a half stab as he's coming out of that shake. Then you're going to want to do a full stab. And then you're going to want to do a half stab. Of course, I didn't get that in. But yeah. It's 2.5 stabs. You're just going to want to do half, full, or half, half, full, half. Is the cycle that I came up with in my head. And then it works sometimes. So, half, half, full, half. And it should work. Don't worry, you have lots of time. If it happens again, you can get a full stab in. He'll do that shake, and you'll be able to get a full stab. He might walk forward. You might have to let go and grab really quick, and then there's a chance you can cancel his shake and then get a full stab. Work it out. It's not too difficult. After playing Barba enough, you'll probably find your own way to do it. Most people do. So yeah. Now we're just flying through these Colossus now. Gonna do a jump stab here because I'm cool. Drink some water. If you're watching that timer, you're like, wow, this guy's timer's wrong because on this video it's been 1 hour, 12 minutes, and 45 seconds, but it only says 14 minutes have passed. How does that work? Don't worry about it. So, Hydrus. I have an in-depth Hydrus tutorial that I will link in the description. So check that out. I will, since this is actually better quality video, basically right before this second spine goes past this, you're going to want to jump. That's just a timing thing. Now start swimming without R1 swimming. You can see these leaves. We're going to swim on the left side of these leaves, and then in the distance on your game screen you'll be able to see it a little bit better, but there's some leaves right here. We'll swim, now you can see it. And when you're about this far from the leaves, you're going to turn in and want to swim towards, there's some leaves over here. Just going to want to swim towards those. Yeah, right here, sorry. You'll see this pillar. Line yourself up with the pillar if you'd like. Turn. He's going to come up. I explain like everything through text, mind you, about this whole fight. So it'll tell you how to do that little trick with the swimming there. So I do recommend checking out that video. If anything, it's a great guide to this, what I'm just going through. So walk on the side. Grab to be safe. You could just go immediately into jump stabs. I grab because I'm a pansy. If the music starts and he bobs his head, that means you got the aggro. If he isn't aggroed, he'll just submerge and not care. So jump stab, let go, jump stab, let go of R1, hold R1, jump stab, let go of R1, hold R1, jump stab. that's Hydrus. Once you might get your own way of like doing that whole swim setup and everything. I believe in you. We're gonna have some time here because I'm actually gonna let the video play out, not just like fast forward through. So yeah, that's Hydrus. If you mess up the jump stabs, I give some examples in my other video of how you can get around those. For the most part, if you stab his small sigil, do not let go of R1 until he submerges before running up to his big sigil. If you do it too quickly, he'll start doing head bobs. If he does head bobs, you're going to have to grab onto him, let him head bob completely, and submerge, or not submerge, emerge from the water. Is that submerging? Anyway, and then you'll be able to run up and grab the thing without him bobbing. But if you start panicking, you'll just get forever bobs, and that's the worst kind of bobs there are. Shout out to Bob, who's in my chat occasionally. Okay, oh my god, that was a loud burp. I'm obnoxious. Anyway, shout out to Bob. He comes in my chat now and then because I'm only on now and then. So I'm gonna whistle, but first I'm gonna switch to my bow. This is just my setup that usually lets Kuro get like quickly get up the wall. I'm gonna run towards this, and then I'm gonna turn and beeline it for this these stairs, jump down these stairs. I'm sorry if I'm feeling rushed or sounding rushed, but this is just these Colossus. There's nothing new. So shoot both of those. The moment he's like passing me, feel free to jump because this means you can land on him. I did bounce. Don't worry, just run up him. You have lots of time. Ricochets, I believe I wanted to talk about. Yes. I don't know why I'm looking at it because I'm going to talk about it anyway, even if I didn't have it written down. I just feel so fancy. I'm like an instructor. And so ricochets is essentially where you just stab and like bounce off instead of like finishing that stab where you have to pull the sword out and it's really slow. Up here is your best bet. If you grab anywhere in here, usually you'll get ricochets, and that just speeds up the process. You can actually cycle stab this, meaning that you let go, re-grab like I explained on quad. 2.5 stabs. You can actually get ricochets on this one, it's more rare. I'm going to do 1.5 stabs, and then do a jump stab. This one, once again, you can do the jump stab while holding R1 the whole time. And that's Kuro. A nice break in Colossus. Colossi. Lets you cool down a bit prior to Basaran, which is a new strat. So this is where I'm going to get more in-depth again. So get ready, kids. Get fucking turned, kids, in anticipation. So this is the front leg strat that Nero taught me. And now I'm going to try and teach you guys. Whew, I'm ready. So you have to mash start in NTA to get this to get him to start walking towards you immediately. You're going to mash start. If any of the cutscene plays, there's a chance that he will just be standing there and not move. So while I'm not able to move, I'm still going to turn the camera because you're able to. I'm going to look at my horse. I'm going to run to this side of my horse and jump on. I'm going to start mashing X. And when I get on my horse, I'm going to start mashing X while turning my camera. I'm going to start... as I like get on and I'm mashing X, I kind of flick gently right on the analog stick just to kind of position myself so I'm going towards this leg. Now I'm going to keep mashing X until here. The moment you pass that tree, stop mashing X completely and just don't hit X anymore. This is going to actually get you there at the right time. So then we're going to jump. You're going to want to be on this particular one. If you're not, you can move back and forth. For reference here, there's another timing thing. I'm going to switch to no sword the moment I land. You have to do it the moment you land. If you don't, you're going to be out of the, like, you're not going to be at the right timing. This is going to be something that's really hard. It took me 30 minutes before I finally, everything clicked and it all worked. So after getting here, you jump, you quickly switch. You're going to start charging a jump immediately. Now, mind you, if you're on like this one or like this one, just hold over and do one whole step towards it, and that will be the timing you need that's equivalent to the sword switch prior to jumping, and then start jumping. That's about a 7/8 charge. So right there. And you're going to land on here. So that's what you're going to do immediately. I mean, you're going to be holding jump, so you charge faster, and you're going to jump. I don't know if holding jump charges faster. Anyway. Wait, you have to hold jump, and then the moment you let go it is. Ignore that. Anyway, 7/8 stab, 7/8 stamina bar. Jump. The moment you land here, start charging your side jump, which I had explained on quad. You're once again going to do as little as possible. Mine was a bit. You can still do almost a half charge and it'll still be fine. There's a chance that if you do very little, you might actually fly over him. And sometimes you'll like be able to position yourself so you'll like land here. If you land on his head, immediately start charging your stab as he's like still falling down, because that'll actually put you in a plant and you'll be able to get all 3 stabs, and there's a possibility of getting a 40-second Basaran, which would be a huge time save and beat the world record's Basaran segment by like 20 seconds. And that would be, if you're competing with world record, that's good time save. So yeah, I landed on the front. So as you can see, I landed on the front and I made it onto the head, but I was too late on the head. You have to like land on the head to do it. But you saw that I still charged like half one, but if you get the full charge stab, it helps. So I'm just going to go over that whole beginning segment and just play by play. So turn camera, run to the left side of the horse, right side if it's the horse. Start mashing X, stop mashing X, jump to that one, switch, 7/8 jump, side jump. And then we're going to get on that head. When he is in the cave, there's no good plant that I've gotten to work properly. Distortion 2 had like started figuring out a way, but I don't think he's ran this seriously in a good while. But he had like figured some stuff out that was really good. Sorry, I need another drink. So, and then we're on the head. I still don't get this every time. I get it 2 out of 3 times. So it is pretty consistent in my opinion. Of course, I can't be sure that how things work in my head work in your head. So just do your best. My other strat goes over how to do rib strat, which is a good starting point if you're just starting this run. So I suggest learning that. If this is frustrating you too much, just don't worry. Just learn rib strat. It's much easier. Debatably, I almost think this is the exact same difficulty once you understand it. But that's like everything. I think that's just progressing and getting better at a game, is you just eventually say, hey, this isn't that hard. But for others, it is hard. So once we're on the head, we're just going to do... Let's see what I do. Jump stabs. Good choice, because I didn't get the immediate thing. What else you can do is just run onto his back right here. This will actually cause him to start walking forward, and once he makes it to the trees, you can actually get a plant relatively easy. So keep that in mind as an option if you're just like messing up this thing and you don't want to do jump stabs because you fall off. So he's gonna dip his head, come back, I'm gonna jump stab. Jump stabbing using the not letting go of R1 method. So this is where it actually gets tricky when you're inside the cave because you can't get an easy plant as he shakes his head. So I believe I am really antsy for some reason. Now this is, mind you, once again, if you were to try and hold R1 when his head's like this, you're just going to jump up his head. So you're going to have to let go of R1 to do a jump stab here. So I do a small... This moment, I was like, Jesus Christ, what happened? Don't take the Lord's name in vain, kids. If that's your, I don't know, religion, I guess. So I luckily landed here. Now this is what I was talking about, when he'll start walking forward. And this actually helps me get a better time. Because as you can see, as he walks forward, I can get a full stab in. So maybe that's actually best. Let him walk forward. But basically this head sigil is up to you. Freestyle jazz it, man. So yeah. Rewatch that beginning how to do the leg launch piece. Because that's probably going to be the part you actually want to know about if you're trying to learn this strat. Because that's the only thing different. Besides doing like rib strat and being in the cage. Cage pattern. Sub 20 Basaran. This isn't my best run. Up to this point, this is my best run in entirety. So Dirge, not too much to Dirge. I explained it in my last run. I'll give the rundown of it though, or in my last tutorial, not run. So the moment I get to this pillar, I also apologize that I'm not doing so much like MS Paint drawings. I almost feel like we're missing out 10 seconds. So give me 1 second here as I turn off the video. There's a pillar as I don't draw right here. You're riding up. When we get to this pillar, we're just gonna hold left on the analog stick. And that should do it for us essentially. You're welcome. So yeah, we're gonna get, as we're passing this pillar, hold left. For an undisclosed amount of time, I've been messing this up non-stop. Free ball it here. Do you? We're gonna start holding, I hold L1 to start looking at the Colossus and charging my bow. Fun fact, if you holding L1 turns you to your right. If you turn to your left, it actually gets the bow out and aimed at them quicker. When you're turning to your right, it has this really weird animation. Just an FYI. That happens. But if you're turned around left, that won't happen. So now we're just going to get the eye shots. It can be tricky. Also, the less time you turn left for, the less time you have to shoot the eye. And if you turn left too much, you're going to run into a pillar. And if you don't shoot the eye before you hit the pillar, you'll probably run into it and then get crashed into. So now I'm going to like switch to my sword because I don't actually know where the sigil is by heart, and slowly make my way towards his butt during the cutscene. Jump here, get hit by sand. I would actually say try and jump and land prior to this, and then you can walk onto him because the sand doesn't affect you. So jump prior to his body and land there. So I get onto the left side of like where his spine would be going down, and this is 2 full stabs. And my method of doing this next stab is I say 1, 2, and then stab. At that pace, I go 1, 2, stab. So we'll see it in here. So full stab, 1, 2, stab. Anyway, also I don't fast charge that tiny stab. 2 other ways to do this. 7 arrows into the sigil will count the same amount of damage as that 1, 2 stab. So if you're starting out, do that. It's just a 7 arrow strat. Otherwise, if you look where my mouse is, where this border on this sword is for your item, if you charge to here twice and then do 1 full stab, that's another way to do it. That's what Ninnies does. I will link Ninnies because he has a whole set of tutorials on his channel. I will also link the speedruns like resources, which I will also put this on speedrun.com, mind you, resource page, which has like a bunch of things on it. So yeah, and this is another one where I'm gonna roll out of that last stab. So I'm mashing roll. I think mashing roll sometimes works and sometimes doesn't, but when it works the best for transferring. As you can see, I'm just like rocketing up this back, besides right here. So 2 ways to get a plant here. You can be facing up while holding a sigil, or you can be facing this way while on this side of the sigil. Oh, I wasn't there in the right spot, but as you can see, I planted immediately. Jump stab at your own risk. There's a good chance you'll just fall into the sand and look like a fool and be embarrassed. You'll have to hide your face in your hands. And yeah, jump stab. I think I get a second jump stab. I messed up. Got a second jump stab anyway. Swagging on the kitties. So that's Dirge. Once again, maybe I went over it better in my last tutorial. Maybe you've watched that tutorial and you don't even have to worry about most of these and you can skip through. Celosia, not much has changed, but I will explain the concepts and strats. I'm going to switch roll, jump. Just some things I've noticed about Celosia right here. Sometimes he won't immediately charge you. That's fine. Just wait up there. He'll usually get in position. If he doesn't, because he can meme you, shoot him with an arrow or call to him. If he still doesn't move, you're going to actually have to get off of the platform and get back up it. But you may as well just retry at that point. So he has 2 charging speeds. The slow speed, if you jump off too soon, he'll actually turn instead of continuously charging. If he does the fast one, no matter where you jump, he won't stop his charge. So I got the fast charge. You can't control yourself during this cutscene, so you're going to want to jump to where Celosia's right or left side will be. As you can see, I'll like land where the torch is. Essentially just try and jump to the torch. I switched to hand actually because it eliminates the possibility of accidentally like holding up your sword to try and get light. From here, roll, stand here. This one's really basic. The moment your sword comes out, mash circle to pick this up again, and you'll get hit. So there's 3 levels you can land on. The best level is the very bottom level, second best level is the second level, and the worst level is the one I have here. If you're on the bottom level, just jump onto Celosia. You'll probably be in a plant because he's not moving. You'll just grab. Second one, walk off on the... there's going to be... I'm going to actually draw here. There you go. For the fanfare. I know what my people want. do I know what my people want? Can I draw this? So it's kind of like you'll probably land here, and you'll notice this is like a lip that goes up a bit, and then this is one. So you're just gonna walk off here, and if you drop, just drop, and you're gonna land, and you won't take fall damage, and then just jump on Celosia is, in my opinion, the best way of getting on him there. Then grab and plant. So yeah, this is the second level, mind you. Remember that. From the top level, you'll see what I do, which is just jump onto him. So yeah, bottom level, just jump onto him, plant. This one, walk off on the lower part of the ledge, and you won't take the little fall stun, I guess, is a better thing. The stun from falling. And climb onto him and stab him. And then if you're on the top level, just jump immediately onto it. I think I mess up though. Pro tip: if you fall off like I do, you're gonna want to get to this side of him, because this side is higher for the ground, and you can just jump and land on him essentially. So always go towards the cliff to save that if you fall off, because the ground is slanted and that's higher, and you will be able to jump onto him. And just always do a long jump and hold on to him, and you'll start walking on him. And that's Celosia. Not much to talk about there, other than like the little tips and things I said. He's pretty easy. What else is in this run? I'm trying to think of. I think the only really different thing, I'm gonna explain one cycle here, and like if you've watched my old tutorial, the only other thing is like Cenobia will have. I'll be explaining the Bobby Kaze's jump. And then I'll say some better like stab stuff on each of them. Like I'll say how I'm approaching each of them the way I do now. So stick around for that if you are like. But if you're looking for just new strats, then you've like watched my old video. Yeah, it'll be Cenobia will be the only one for the most part. I'll also explain some other options on Malus though. So, shoot him. Only shoot him once or twice. If you shoot him 3 times, he'll actually start charging his like electricity faster and be in a weirder position. We're gonna jump onto his head as he dips it down. Jump up. I do this purely because I think it's cool. I used to just run to his butt and then come back up, and I slowly got bored of that, so now I jump to his shoulder, onto his elbow, and then onto his head. You can mess up by doing that, so keep that in mind. It's not like this was on PB pace or anything. So, 2 hits on the right one, 1 hit on the front one, and as long as he hasn't... If he starts rearing before you get the hit on the right tooth, you only might need 1 hit on the right one and 1 hit on the front one. You'll, as this is what I'm calling an advanced tutorial, you will probably understand that by now and have your own route to get here. So when he starts charging electricity, we're just going to jump, let go, and then jump back. It seems difficult, but it's actually pretty easy. If you're like worried, you can actually hold on to his head, and then as he comes back up and stops moving, jump onto the thing and then jump onto his belly. If you do fall down though during this, if you can get onto time to draw. So I'm gonna give a top down. Let's get these circles in here. So this is like the gazebo. There's like, you understand what I'm talking about. The 4 jut outs. And Cenobia is going to be a fucking hexagon. So Cenobia is like right here. If you mess like that, like electricity cancel, and you like land in the water, or you might even land on the land. If you can just jump onto here, and then as he's like still coming up and not going down back into the water yet, and jump onto his stomach, he won't submerge. I really need to look up submerge. I feel like it means 2 like different things. Anyway, I'm gonna look it up. I feel like submerge is going underwater. Cause to be underwater. Okay. So, 10 seconds. Submerge opposite. Is it just emerge? I guess it's an antonym, isn't it? Surface. Haha! That's a better word. So, as he's surfacing, just essentially as you jump from the top of the gazebo, if this was the top of the gazebo, I'm so sorry, I hit my mic. Top of the gazebo onto his belly, just jump from the this thing to his belly as he's like coming up and within range, and he won't submerge. Because like what happens is if you do land in the water and stuff and you're on the thing, he'll just submerge before you can get on him, and you'll be like, oh no, I messed this up. There is a way to save that. Just wanted to let people know that because I think it might not be extremely well known. Goodbye, hexagon. Pelagia. So, in this case, I don't mess up. So, I just run back, I jump. So, I'm going to use the... Oh, that's black, isn't it? I can't see black on this. Okay, so it's like right here. This part of the sigil is where you want to grab for a 1 cycle. I've like theory crafted this with Nero on like, there's got to be like something that just makes it so it's 100%, but we haven't found anything yet. For people $100 to figure it out, and no one figured it out. It was rough. Like 100% sure method, essentially, if you don't mess up. So you're going to want to grab around here, where I've circled in red. And you're going to want to do 1 full stab, 185% stab. You can be within 5%, basically, so 80 to 90% stab. Which I do believe I get appropriately in this run, but I just don't get it. And then you're going to do 2 full stabs for 1 cycle, which I don't get in this run. Otherwise, this would have been like 38-minute run. And that's how much... Well, no, it would have been a 38-minute run because you saved like a minute and a half. So, as you can see, I'm like trying to get in position. So 1 full stab. That's the stab amount, essentially. That's fine. You can also be a little lower than that. I wouldn't say go higher than that, or it'll mess up. If you go higher than that, he'll just, like, submerge. And you'll still be fine with getting a 2 cycle. If you do too little and he submerges, then you're in danger of doing a 3 cycle, and that's usually a rip run. So keep that in mind. So yeah, I'm going to get a 3rd stab in here. So, 3rd stab. And you'll usually, I'm going to draw on his belly again. I'm going to use this one right here. You're going to be like, this being your I'm going to put my head in, what's a good color to show up there? In like orange, your head being here, or your hands being there, and you're going to be at that angle, and that's usually when you get enough, when you will one cycle is when your body is in that like slant. Just to note, for a one cycle, that's usually when you, the best position you'll be in to, let me erase that other one, to get the one cycle. So yeah, so I hope that kind of explains the possibility of getting a one cycle, and this is just two cycles. So this is something I saw Shuripon do, so I learned how to do it. As he submerges his head here, I'm going to jump, and I'm going to hold R1, and I'm essentially going to grab here. I'm also going to give us some other options of this, but as you can see, I'm going to climb up. I'm going to run, though, because if you're here, you're just going to fall off during the cutscene. I'm going to try and get on his back, and I'm going to try and look... You can either look up his back or down his back, but you want to be like facing that line. You're going to want to be aligned face, like front and back with his spine, so his front and back. As you can see, I'll be rolling a bunch. Actually, that position's really good for rolling. If you get too close to his head, you'll just fall off his head. Sometimes you will luck out and you'll like get stuck on the teeth. And as you can see, I was actually back far enough that he started shaking. Which is actually really good because that means he doesn't... Usually, if you're too close to his head, he'll just turn left, which is the opposite way you want him to turn in a two cycle because you want him to go right. Just some quick options for that. There's the two different ways. One way is you just land in the water during that cutscene, and when it comes back up, he's going to try and shoot you. Just swim underwater, jump up, shoot him with an arrow. He'll kind of get close enough, and you'll be able to jump onto him and then get up without him having to do like the submerged surface thing and put his feet on the gazebo. The other way, if you want to play it really safe and you're newer, and you're only going for two cycles, or maybe you're going for one cycles, but you're not the greatest at two cycling either. If you, during that, like, prior to the cutscene, in that place where you can move, like where I got up on his back, if you swim to the gazebo and get on to it, when you regain control after the cutscene, just immediately shoot him with the arrow, and then after he shoots, as long as you don't get hit into the water, he'll submerge and surface immediately, allowing you to get up, like you did on the, or like I had done on the first like get up that you do. So on this get up, it's probably one of the quicker ones. As you can see, since I was far enough back, he only shook. Gonna give him one hit there. Give him the right there, Fred. Not going the way I want him, so I'm gonna hit this one, run back, hit this one, and then hit the front one. You're not gonna want to let him go all the way back. Actually, that was fine. That was perfect. But yeah, you just want to get him a little bit in line with it. That goes for the first gazebo too. If you're not in line with the gazebo, there is a chance he'll just mess around. Also, I didn't like where he was positioned, so I pansied out of doing the cancel because he was so far to the left. I got shot, but always hold R1. As Nero says, keep calm and hold R1, which is the mantra of this game. It'll save you in more ways than you know. And yeah, see, that would have been a one cycle. There's a chance that if you mess up on the one cycle, you might pixel health him. Refer to my SGDQ run, where I did that, and everyone just like started applauding, and I was like, no, don't applaud. My shame. So yeah, in this I just swim towards him. I just have a habit of always going towards the tentacles. It saves fraction of a second for the most part, but it does save seconds overall. So maybe keep that in mind. So, Phalanx, I'm gonna give you some tips and tricks. Oh, I'm also sitting in a camping chair because that's currently my chair in my room, which is not good for the butt or the back. As I talk about my cardboard desk earlier, I'm living the high life, but it's actually not bad at all, and I enjoy it. So, immediately I'm gonna arrow on the ground because I'm a pansy and I don't like riding my horse and shooting because I'm bad at it. You can, and that's how you can get the wing skip on Phalanx, which is the fastest way to do Phalanx, though we still aren't 100% certain on how it works, but you have to be on your horse for it to work. So we're gonna shoot the arrow. I'm sorry that the brightness is just, it's actually better on the OBS than it is on the screen, so I'm gonna bring up my, oh good, it's already on. Oh good, I can actually see my cursor. I didn't even realize that. So his bubble, for the first one, we're going to shoot as it reaches... Why do I always have select on? We're going to shoot... Just let me brush, man. It's my column is brushing. Basically where the cursor is. For reference, the front of his bubble is here. We already shot this. Actually, did we already shoot this? I'm going to reverse this. Flip it and reverse it. So I basically hold R1 and R1 will point towards his, or L1 and L1 will point you towards his head. And then I hold left when I get high enough in altitude. And I just fire one off. Yeah, prior to it, you're going to hit here, right here in the very center of this. Basically, I'm just using the red as my crosshair now. Just disgustingly so. Let's make it like, let's get a custom crosshair going here. Show me what you got, paint. Let's give that a solid color fill. You want it to be blue. Look at that. So yeah, basically the center of this section on him, and we're gonna shoot, and it's basically the center of this section as well, and we're gonna shoot. Now, I believe in myself deeply, because that's what I do. No, but actually that was, yes, I do. Don't worry about what I just said. I believe in. What the hell? Oh right, I'm hitting delete, and I have color 2 as white. So that's essentially erase color. So that's gonna hit, and I'm just gonna blind run towards my horse. I'm gonna miss my horse, because as I just said, blind run towards my horse. Get on my horse, I'm gonna rear, which is just tap X and hit back on the analog stick, your movement analog stick, left stick, back, directly back, and X at the same time you'll rear. Aggro's in the perfect position. You can get out here, but that's what you're going to do if you were going to shoot the arrows as you rode. And I'm just going to, as I like basically get here, I'm just going to tap the analog stick left a bit, and then I'll avoid hitting those. That's something you'll probably feel out for yourself. And I mean, if you're going to ride the horse, this part was completely useless for you, and I apologize. Please skip ahead, but actually don't skip ahead because we're already past that point. We're moving on. You got played. So aim towards like the left side of those ones. If there's two ways Phalanx can move, he'll either go around that rock structure that was on the left of the screen earlier, right here. He'll either go around this way. If he goes around that way, just aim right here to the right side of this rock structure. If he doesn't, aim towards the left of those broken, of the broken ring. So this would be essentially a little bit of a normal guide for here, or for Phalanx, and a more important thing is a lot of people mess this up. We're going to want to like aim for in front of it because it's lead the shot being your body. I don't think I messed this up, but that's a good position. You actually maybe don't lead the shot that much, but lead the shot a bit. And you're... I do believe, yeah, I grab here, luckily. Just start mashing triangle. Once again, to go up 2 of these, you do not need any charge. There is one spot here that does need charge, because if you don't, you'll just fall back down to your 1. It's one of these ones that I can't correctly remember, but just know that it's not actually gonna lose you more than like 5 seconds on this wing by missing it, and just then charge it if your tap jumps don't work. This top section right here can be tricky because also you notice that I swapped to no weapon, and that's just gonna make my first stab faster. You can fall off of this and it can be really annoying and disheartening. Don't worry, it happens to the best of us. But yeah, I just jump up there and then immediately jump. If you stay on there too longer, you'll have a bigger chance of falling. So I'm going to explain my stab sequence here. I do the same stab sequence on all of them basically. I actually overcharge the stabs more than I need to. 7/8, so 75% charge on your stab will be enough to not destroy the sigil, but do the damage you need. And then a jump stab. So 75% jump stab, 75% jump stab, and then on the last one, you can, to be fair, if you do 75%, you have to do a 75% jump stab. If you do it how I do it, you only need like a 60% jump stab. So I did way too much damage there. That was too much, so I know I cannot do a jump stab here. So I am just going to... There. That's... Like, as I said, I do like a 95% stab. I don't know why. It's just that I have like this huge fear of messing up Phalanx. Sometimes you'll get shaken out. Sometimes you'll panic stab and it's really embarrassing. So once again, I do more than enough. And jump stab. This jump stab you can do without letting go of R1. And just jump down the back seems to be the fastest. Sometimes your jumps will be really good, sometimes they'll be trash. If you can, just immediately jump on and jump stab. And that's Phalanx. So nothing too difficult there. One of the bread and butters of your run. Really hurts when you mess that up. Hurts deep. Makes you cry. No, it shouldn't. If a game ever makes you want to just cry and quit, then just stop. Come back to it another day. Nothing to take too seriously. Yeah. Enjoy the game. That's what this game is for. And it's a good game, so enjoy it as I start like putting my philosophies onto you. Hey kids, you want some philosophies, do ya? Well, Uncle Theron, not even call me Papa Theron, Uncle Theron's gonna lay him down. Alright, so Kaze jump. This is a pretty good setup for Kaze jump. I will link his video because I think he has one, just doing some examples of it. That'll be in like a reference section. So the usual rolls to here if you were going to do pillar skip. Just an FYI, Kaze jump is upwards of 20 seconds slower than pillar skip. So if you are going for a world record, you're probably not going to want to do this unless you are getting the 40-second Basaran, and then essentially your time saves cancel out. I should mention that you can still just do very casual strats on all of them and still get world record. My sum best is 35 minutes. In the 35-minute zone, I think it's a high 35 minutes, which means I do have like a minute and a half of just spaghetti to work with. And I gave myself like 5 minutes of spaghetti. So just a tiny reference. I'm going to keep to this side of the wall. And I'm going to roll all the way down, basically. And this will make Cenobia not be close enough to hit me. As you can see, Cenobia is way in the background. I'm going to come right up here. I'm going to jump. And that's cause a jump, by the way. You might be like, what the fuck just happened? So we're going to use this ledge. And then we're going to get to the edge of the ledge. And we're going to jump. And don't hold R1 immediately, but about, I'll say it, jump R1. And it'll magnet you to that, so I'm just going to say R1, jump R1, and hold R1, mind you. So jump R1. So, like, 3/4 of a second. So what I've found is if you don't let Cenobia hit the tower you're on, Cenobia's AI can get a little funky. So just let her hit the tower, and then just hold on to the edge, because this will make Cenobia come to the front side, and then just get up. And then this is the same as like pillar skip or even casual strats. Give him that shot. There is a weird strat. If you shoot Cenobia as Cenobia is charging to hit the pillar, and like prior to the cutscene, because you can't shoot during the cutscene, it will take Cenobia out of that like stun AI, and Cenobia will start coming at you immediately. Probably not something you want to do without the knowledge of how you essentially navigate through this next section during this cutscene. So of course during this cutscene, you're going to be holding crouch until basically as this hits, and there's that like clunk, I believe it vibrates your controller, I let go of R1 and I run forward. You can see me teeter on the edge, and then I jump. I am holding this angle on my controller as I jump. Maybe a bit more up. Maybe a bit more up. Is that a good arrow? I'd like to say that my current profession is a drafter. If you don't know what that means, it means I draw lots of lines. And this this is not how bad my hands are. As I said, no ailments here. That's just how it draws. That's me like moving in what feels like a straight line. But anyway, enough about that. That's the angle I hold, this one. What the fuck? Anyway, that's the angle I hold. And I hope you hold that angle too, and it works for you. If it doesn't, find your own angle. Damn kids. So yeah, you're just gonna jump through there. I'm gonna keep holding that angle, and I'm gonna roll a couple times until I feel it's necessary. I'm gonna miss that jump because I'm bad. If you do hit that jump the first time, I'm gonna do a charge jump to get to there. You can roll over there and shoot Cenobia prior to. Because I did not shoot Cenobia prior to, she's gonna do a fake charge. So I'm gonna wait and shoot her again. Then we're just gonna jump over here. I switch to my hand so I get the quicker first stab. I'm gonna blind jump to Cenobia here because that's my thing. Also, if you move during this cutscene, the cutscene will start, or your camera will start faced in the direction you're facing. So if you move from where you jumped and landed, our cameras aren't going to be the same. But if you jump and then just let go of your like camera stick, or your positioning stick. You don't have to worry. Yeah, that's just essentially, I guess I can use this like this, and then a short one like that, and that one. Actually, let's look at this angle. Do you like that I have a double paint? So I do turn my camera, and I guess, yeah, I'm almost facing directly up. So I turn my camera. Actually, I am completely wrong. I'm gonna amend that. Rotate. I can't actually choose how it rotates, so we're gonna redraw those. I basically turn my camera to the point where this is the angle I need. And it's going to be more holding this way before holding up, is what I mean by these lengths. But yeah, that's how I do the blind jump. Feel it out. And the best place, in my opinion, to plant on him is when you do this one, you're going to land with your feet at the bottom of his, the sigil at his back, and then plant, and you don't have to stab the sigil here. As on the small ones, basically the whole back is. If you watch my very last stab, I don't do a full stab. You can do about a 90% stab, 95% stab maybe, and it will kill Cenobia and be enough. So that's something to take into consideration. That's the exact same with on Argus, who's coming up. Argus's hand sigil is also you can short damage on by like 5%, and I think that's because of the shoulder sigil, though, kind of. Maybe. No, actually, you don't have to do any damage to the shoulder sigil. All right. So, did I mess up not Barba, Argus immediately? Maybe. Seems like someone I'd mess up. Anyway, so we're just gonna start. We're gonna run, jump. If Argus is really far away from you, that's the worst possibility you can get, in my opinion. This is what will most likely cause you to have a second walk cycle Argus, is if Argus is positioned far from you. Argus like seems to be dropped in the stage and can bounce, is what someone explained it as, and he'll like be like dropped in and he'll like bounce forward or bounce back. And the farther back he is, the farther you have to run. The closer he is, the less you have to run before jumping. If he's really close, you might have to like wait a second before starting to run. Something you'll probably figure out as you work your way at him. So then we're gonna just hold a charge jump here. Right as he turns his leg, jump. We'll get here. We're gonna jump to here. This is where you just start holding. I'm gonna use red. You just start holding this angle and holding jump, and that's gonna, as I'm gonna wait before saying this. Actually, I think that jump right there would have worked, but I messed up. So I always thought, I was like, maybe if you move or you jump while you're on his belt, like when he is far back, he gets in a certain walk cycle where you always get shaken. Like there's a certain shake that he does, and you're just like, okay, this is the time I get up. When you play it enough, you'll be like, or do this strat enough, you'll be like, okay, this is the opportunity where I get my half charge jump. That's all you need. You need half your stamina gauge filled and then jump, and that will launch you all the way, for reference. And you'll just launch up. But it seems that when you're in that position, it just gets really hard to do it on the first walk cycle. So this is second walk cycle though has a guaranteed launch. No matter what you do, even if you can't even get to the belt till the second walk cycle, you get this launch. So it's right here. So half launch, I get up. So that's something to take note. You always have a second walk cycle chance. However, you have very little stamina, so you're going to want to do that jump and then get onto his back. He'll shake a lot, so that little stab I did was to actually cancel his second shoulder shake. Another way to cancel that second shoulder shake is make your way to his shoulder. Over here, if you get to this part of his shoulder, he'll do a different one where he'll just move his arm. Right here I'm super antsy because I'm already on my second walk cycle, and I was really gunning for a 39-minute run. So this was kind of the nail in the coffin of that, but what you can do is you can just stand on his shoulder and then you can like crouch, and that's the best way to get your stamina back while you're on his upper half. The only place you need to get stamina back, really. So this is his so I immediately jump to it because I am like just gunning for this fucking 30-minute time. I get the plant, which I try to pause on OBS, but that doesn't work. I'm just gonna use the where's my cursor? There's my cursor. Oh wait. So this whole portion of Argus is a plant. Essentially, actually up here too. Up here. And that essentially what I'm going to highlight in purple, if it's visible, this spine, it's basically around that spine where the plant is. Like the best position you can be in, which I will draw in green, is like, how am I doing circles with this goddamn thing? Anyway, let's try this one more time. Anyway, that little sperm is you, and your head is that way. That's essentially the best place to grab, and it'll put you in a plant. That being said, the plant here is very open, but sometimes he's just not moving in the right way and it won't give you the plant. Sperm is the best plant, but you might not get that. Anyway, so but most of the time you want to be positioned down. I lucked out and I was positioned facing to the right. That being said, I believe I get staggers because of this. Yeah, as you can see, I get staggers, but if I was facing down him more, I wouldn't get staggers. So I get my 3 stabs in, that's all you need. I have lost runs. Like, I lost a really good run that would have been about a 38, 39-minute run to a mistake right here where I was trying to transfer to his shoulder, but I was in a rush, and if he's too close to, or not close enough to like the end of his walk cycle, his walk is very abrasive and jarring. So he lurches forward, and as he lurches forward, your character will pop off of him and basically like be placed back. It'd be like leapfrog, but just there's no frog, or I guess other person to leap over, and I just fell off, and it was really embarrassing. But I couldn't be angry because it was kind of my own fault. So I'm just gonna walk. As you can see here, even I'm like falling because he's trying to like walk. Make sure to, if you're gonna just walk immediately, try and keep as close to this side as you. If you're like really good at the game, you'll probably just jump here or immediately do the hand drop. But yeah, if you're like new, just feel free to grab. If you have the stamina, just grab. That's their safest bet. Crawl home, my boy. So we're gonna walk this way. We're just gonna drop onto his thing. This is a place you do not need to charge your stab here. We're just gonna mash stab, get that stab in. So I'm gonna drop. Alright, so drop. As you can see, this is my body. I'm gonna drop. I'm gonna roll up to here. I'm going to then flick my stick back this way so I am facing towards him, and that will actually make my camera angle start facing towards him. So I was like, shit, I'm not in the right place. I do have, it's really tough to be in the correct spot on this for him to drop his hand, which is faster than then dropping to his thing. So my visual cue for being in the right spot for his second hand drop is, as you see where these things appear, I'm like right on it. And then I'm like, maybe I can move in a little bit. And that's the hand drop. So position yourself there. I'll just replay that. That positioning. And he'll usually hand drop. So I just run away and then I switch to hand. Because once again, I'm like, I might be able to do it. And stab. In fact, oh no, never mind. If that stab had been when the tentacles hit me, which is where I would usually split, and that was the time at 37:03, then it would have worked. In fact, that was what was going through my head, was when I stabbed, I was like, I actually have 2 minutes and 58 seconds to do this. I can do it. I can do it. And as I just replayed what was going through my head, couldn't do it. Because it was actually, I only had 2 minutes and like 33 seconds. Which isn't enough, at least in the strat I do for Malus. So yeah, that's Argus. Once again, if anything here is leaving you with questions, just write a comment, message me on Twitch. My Twitch link will be in the description. And yeah, this is Malus. Let's do it. I'm gonna immediately switch my weapon, or am I gonna whistle? No, switch my weapon. I'm gonna switch my weapon. Whistling and switching your weapon brings you up to max speed when you're running. So I'm going to switch my weapon because the first weapon I need to use in this fight is the bow. So you hit right to switch to the bow, I believe. Also, give me 1 second because I'm gonna move this piece a bit, so it's better aligned for my drawings. Alright, so you're going to want to come this way, and as this hits, you're going to want to be in front of that. Also, look at that camera shake. You're going to want to stay around here, run up here. This is the only tricky spot. This jump. You're going to jump. I'm going to do a small jump. Roll immediately when you land. 2 steps as you start diagonally towards this one. This ledge essentially, and then roll twice. That one will hit there. Start rolling along this ledge. I imagine my normal tutorial does this. Pitless, I will explain, I don't get in this run. As you jump here, if his bullet hits as you land here, you can roll past this and roll towards the corner of like his little podium, and you won't get hit by the incoming bullet, and then you can just immediately just roll up the slope, and that's pitless. The timing for that, because this is like all the same timing each time, you're gonna have to figure out yourself. Watch some Nero runs because he always gets pitless in his runs, at least. Sure upon if you're on PlayStation 2, I'd recommend checking out Noto. I will link him. I believe he has all of his videos, his VODs, from his runs for PlayStation 2, because this is also PlayStation 3. Maybe I should have prefaced with that. Some of these strats will not have worked on PlayStation 2. Hopefully, if you're running this on PlayStation 2 and you watched all the way to here and you've been learning and you've been frustrated, forgive me. I'll put in the description, so hopefully when I mention the description a bunch, you look in there and it says this is PlayStation 3. Some strats don't work on PlayStation 2. And then I'll put checkout Noto for PlayStation 2 references. But, yeah, so I'm just gonna jump down here. Roll my way up. So, this is what I do on both pitless and non-pitless. As I roll up here, in pitless I'd be coming from the side. I'm going to attempt to roll onto this ledge. Hey, look, there's a normal time attack speedrun guide for Shadow of the Colossus by Theron with 269 views. That one's 1 minute and 32 seconds. Also, you can see that I liked my own video because YOLO. My secret shit. No, always like your own video because then you at least have one person who likes it. As you can see, this is the ledge I was talking about rolling onto. If you're on the ground, you're only going to get to this ledge with your first jump. But if you're here, you're going to get to this ledge. And here's a jumping technique with ledges. If I just jumped with triangle and like even charged, I might only get to the ledge right above me, so this ledge. If you let go of R1 after you jump and then re-hold R1 when you want to re-grab, so I let go and then click again, and that's how I get that ledge. That is more with these next ones. So I get up here, pretty standard. Right here, I jump here, and this is where I let go of R1. Re-grab, let go of R1, re-grab. This is a side jump. We're going to do a very small side jump, and that'll just skip you having to go up or grab this ledge. So, once again, I'm going to link actually Sherpan's world record run in the description, and if you watch his Malus, he's going to shoot from this platform for the arrow, and it'll be a completely different getup. I'm not going to go too much into it because I don't really have a... It's kind of... You have to see it to know where to jump. I could explain and be like, oh, and then you jump to the right side of his hand and stuff like that from the next ledge. I'm just going to do it, and then if you're at that point where you want to incorporate that into your run for an optimization, you should be able to learn from watching that. So I'm going to jump here, jump here. This is where another one where you're going to have to let go of R1, otherwise you're going to land on this ledge. As I fucking continuously do that. So I'm gonna, the moment I get up here, I'm gonna start holding L1 to look up while drawing my bow, or I already have my bow, and you're gonna aim for this. This is where his fur is, by the way. It's kind of hard to see in the game, but right here is the money shot. Also, that was me thinking I got it and letting go. You should probably always be looking at that until you've got the hit, because you do have lots of time to do the next part. So I got it. You jump up here. The moment I get up here, you do have extra time, so I'm going to switch to my hand, wait, jump back, and I'm going to aim for this one or this one. You can wait a little longer, or I guess it was that one or the one below it that I landed on. So this, I do go over this in my other tutorial, which will also be linked in the description. We're gonna jump as he lifts his hand, which gives us the momentum. And yeah, this is the plant. It's just walk onto his head and grab right before you essentially get to the sigil. And that's a plant on PlayStation 2 and PlayStation 3. Most of the plants are similar in both consoles, just for reference. And I guess the only thing is you'll notice that I wait like a split second before stabbing, even though it's like, oh, his stab's fully charged, but he's not stabbing yet. And that just eliminates being half staggered when starting up this next stab. Timing stops now as this cutscene starts, essentially. So that's where you end it in case you want to run it. That's where timing ends. And so yeah, that was my tutorial on normal time attack. My second tutorial. All links. Is it impertinent? Let's look it up before I use a word wrong. Pro tip: if you ever are using a word to be smart, or you think it's the more correct word, it's impertinent or impertinent. Always just look it up. Impermanent. Is that the word I'm actually looking for? It. Not permanent. Not the one I wanted. Oh, impertinent? Impertinent. No. Oh, or am I saying impertinent when I mean pertinent? Oh, why are we on this video? That's awkward. Let's go back. So yeah, pertinent to the. Okay, so yeah, it's pertinent to this tutorial. So yeah, check the description. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you made it all the way here, I hope this helps you. Once again, feel free to ask me any questions, leave a comment, message me on Twitch. And yeah, I hope to see anyone watching this run the game. Or maybe you already run the game and I know you. I hope this helps then. And yeah, I guess this is where I'll end it, and I hope this helps. As I once again try and hit stop recording while I'm looking at my mouse on OBS when it's not actually.